Okay, so now we're in the main part. This is the catalog for LinkedIn Learning, and depending on what the content is, if your content is in there with the custom content, then that's why your company is there. LinkedIn Learning is the content by that. Different types of content, different level, software, and so forth and so on. Now you're going to notice and say to yourself, how did I get to enterprise marketing? It's simple. I just went through my skills here, and these are the ones I kind of saved. So, if I went back to how to dance, then it's going to tell me there's 600 results. 13 are courses. I can tell you they're videos. Because, see, there's documents, there's links. That's you linking it out to somewhere on the internet. These are the learning paths. So it is actually, I think it's all 13 are in fact audio, actual videos, but maybe there's a couple that are actually, let's see if there's any that's an audio file. No. So they're all actually videos. And here's where you can see the skills. Skills are animation, character animation. So let's say I wanted to click animation. I go into here, then again, it continues to drill down. Now, the reason I find, there's some things that are pretty interesting about this. And then again, here's where we level. And you're going to notice something. You don't see that general anywhere, yet there is general elsewhere, right? So clearly, with like animation, you're either at beginner, intermediate, and advanced. If I went back in here and I went with, dancing, for example, uh, look at that, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, and so why can't you just be? You can't have a course that's for everybody. But anyway, and then there's software here that ties in. I assume with dancing. Yep, there it is, right there. And this is how to. So like right here, I don't. That has absolutely nothing to do with dancing. Following proper color correction using a tool set. So again, why are there certain pieces in the content that covers under dancing, especially where it's supposed to be a best match? You're going to notice these little things here. That means it's been added to my collection. This one actually means it was saved. So that means it's saved. There I forgot I had also added to my collection. So here I could just go ahead and it says saved. If I want to add it to the collection as before, I can do that. And if I don't want to save it, uh, I do it that way. But again, some things like, again, how to spend more time with friends from Happiness Tips Weekly. That has absolutely nothing to do with dancing, and it definitely has nothing to do with this, and it definitely has nothing to do with being a best match. So, this is again where it gets into if I'm selecting dancing for my content, there's just some things in here that are not relevant to me. I mean, if I again selected media composer, I guess, yes, I'm editing those kinds of things. Maybe there's dancing clips in here I'm doing, but I know Avid quite well, and it has absolutely nothing to do with dancing. If I came over here on the browsing section and I'm going to select animation, illustration, now the catalog changes a bit, and you see these little icons up here. I liked that, but that's not consistent throughout the entire catalog. It only appears in certain areas. And again, in this case of animation, the topics are more tied back to that. You have the different level, you're going to have different types of, right? All this makes sense, but it didn't really necessarily the other way. And if I select 3D animation, now it goes in and covers that whole area. But if I want to go back, surprise, you can't. The way you have to go back is either go back to browse or select your back bar on your toolbar in your browser window. So it would be nice to actually have like a previous or a back button that I can just click, or in this case it's by text, and go ahead and do that. And again, you noticed in many of the areas it wasn't visible. So these are the different kinds of things. I'm familiar with GitHub, so if I select GitHub, look at that, it's not there. Or that option where, again, if I went back into the creative and I chose, animation, illustration, it is. So there's inconsistency with the catalog pieces, but that being said, it's really kind of easy to do. There is a time, ideally, I'd like it to see it be a little bit bigger, the different skills you can do, modeling, for example, and going through, you know, different types of, okay. And anyway, there's Media Composer because I had saved it previously, and then you're going into other types of modeling pieces. But again, Office 2019 new features has absolutely nothing to do with modeling whatsoever. And that was modeling with code, by the way, not modeling with you actually going out on the runway.